My first 3-hour show of forever. Yes, caller. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Andy Crowner.
Oh, God. I want you to know I'm doing a 3-hour show just for you today, Andy Crowner. And tomorrow
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and tomorrow for Chuck Grassley, who's on at 8:10. See what he's up to. Grassley thinking of running for his whatever number term now that he's only 87 years old. How are you, my friend? I haven't talked to you.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I know we were off last week. I hope you enjoyed your little vacation there. It looked good.
Yeah, it was it was good to get a little break from it. And Dennis, my capable fill-in, was only doing 2-hour shows, so we missed you. So we missed a meeting last week. So I think the result of it was, if my reading is correct, the tax levy rate decreased some amount of money. Is that correct?
We did. That's all final now. Had the final reading and hearing on that. So West Burlington's going from $10 a thousand to $9.65. So we went down 35 cents.
That's got to place you in pretty good company, I would think, of the 900 plus. What is there, 900 and some odd cities in the state?
Yeah, I don't have stats on what everybody's doing for next year, but where we were at currently at the $10 rate, there was 284 cities lower than us and 656 higher. So
wow,
kind of in that bottom third of tax levies.
That's where we want you, my friend. Good work.
And there's a big range on that. It goes from about $7.77 all the way up to $21.76. So
at 21,
we're not up there in the 20s.
Yeah. I bet you that's like Marion or one of those places with a fancy police building and whatever. I don't know. So the average, if you average those, is what? If you average all that together, is about, what is the average?
We'd be sitting just under $15 at $14.67. So we're almost $5 under the average. So we're doing pretty good.
So that I'm not going to drag Burlington into this because it wouldn't be fair. It's apples and dog nuts, but they're over the $14.67 average, and West Burlington is under the average, and for different reasons, of course, and many different things that to take into account. Burlington is 16 1/3. I think Danville is right at the average or so, right? And Mediapolis,
12.45, so
okay,
a little under the average.
Mediapolis just a little under, right?
Yeah, at 11.21, so pretty low up there as well.
Yeah, all kinds of ways to skin that cat, I guess, right?
Yeah, in general, though, I think that looks good for our whole area, not just West Burlington, with Danville and Mediapolis being down under there. And I think Middletown's down in that same range, too, at $11 or $12. And so even Burlington being at $16.33, in a larger city, just over average. Obviously, I think they've been turning some things around, too, but that kind of gives you a good snapshot of where things are at here in Southeast Iowa.
And what's the breakdown of that tax levy? How many? I guess it would be easiest to do in percentages rather than numbers or whatever. So how do you break that down? What's the biggest thing?
Water by far, and that will go down eventually. But right now we're paying for a new water tower and some other projects. So right now 39% of our budget is going to water. So pretty high percentage if you look at it. I was kind of surprised the first time I saw that. And then second place being sewer at 14%. So water and sewer right there is over 50% of your entire budget just on those two items.
Two kind of necessary items, though, right?
Yeah, you kind of need water and sewer. And then public safety, so your police and fire, that's sitting at 14% as well, so tied to sewer. Capital projects, which is our big kind of street projects and things like that, buildings and so forth, are at 12%. And then public works at 7%, and debt service, which is the one I'm trying to get down, is 6% of our budget. So a big chunk of our budget just goes to paying past debt.
So the spread between the top five or six things is pretty, I mean, what is water normally when we're not trying to build a new water tower? Is it also in the teens?
Yeah, I think you'd probably be more at like 22, somewhere in that would be my best guess on it. But yeah, it's still expensive. It costs us a lot to do, and we've got to buy the water, we've got to get it to your house, and clean it after. So it does cost quite a bit.
So if it would normally be, well, it's sitting at three times any other thing, but let's say it's double most things usually, then it's pretty even between sewer, public safety, which is police and fire, and capital projects all in there. Do you like to see a balanced breakdown in these things?
To me, I don't necessarily care about the percentage, even though that's a good thing to look at as a snapshot.
Right.
To me, are we being effective with the money we're using? Are we spending it wisely? And I think for the most part, West Burlington really is. There's not very many line items that you can look at and go, well, that's kind of a want, not a need. I think we do a pretty good job of just paying kind of bare minimum things to keep our town going, which is why our tax rate's so low. We don't really spend a whole lot of frivolous money.
Right, but I only ask that because of to make sure that priorities, sounds ridiculous, get priority with the dollars and the way that matters. If you look at what a city has to do that no one else can do, water, sewer, public safety, as an example, I feel like those things need to have the lion's share of the money. And then some of these other things that come along later, the niceties or the amenities or these kinds of things, need to be in percentage basis way below what your stated priorities as a city need to be. So whether that be, I don't know, a swimming pool or other things or parks and these kinds of things, very important, obviously, maybe, but in percentages need to reflect their lack of being an urgent, necessary priority. Do you agree with that?
I would agree with that. And I also think you see on the water and sewer side, I think those have probably been increasing over the last 2 decades from new state rules, new DNR rules that increase the cost of doing these projects and just those projects in general being more expensive. So I think those have climbed over the past 10, 20 years compared to public safety and streets and roads. So I think that's where some of those cost increases come in. But it's good we're spending the money on those items we need to as a city. So It's good money spent.
Yeah, I noticed you spent some money on some new stuff for the fire department. What are brush jackets exactly?
Yeah, that would be for, fire, if they have, brush or those kind of things that are on fire, a field on fire, those kind of things. That would be equipment that they would wear to those type of events.
I never heard of that before. Maybe that's why I'm not a firefighter. Also, construction season, I noticed you talked about starting to see more as you go around West Burlington. And probably you want to urge the people like we did at the end of the last construction project out here by the radio station. I know there were some issues and you'd like people to slow down and whatnot.
Yeah, we had some big issues with that last year, so we're really asking people to be aware of road construction and other construction going on this season as it starts here this spring, and please just obey those rules. If we got a road closed, please don't try to bust through it. I know that sounds like you wouldn't think people do that, but a surprising amount of people have done it in the past couple of years. So please slow down and obey those road signs. Keep our workers safe. They're there working for us, so please help out. All right.
Enough of city business. I want to get you on business for a moment, if I can. AndyCrowner.com is a thing that you can go to for a real estate resource. Andy is with the RE/MAX Real Estate Specialist here in West Burlington. Tell us about what's going on that side of your life.
Yeah, St. Patrick's Day was last week when you were sitting on the beach, and that is our anniversary for RE/MAX here in West Burlington.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, 23 years this year. We had a little get together at lunch, a little potluck, and my mom made corned beef and cabbage. So, fun thing. I've been involved with it for many years, going up and enjoying that with Mom, but this time first as an employee. So, it was a good time, and I just have to give it to the people up there in the the great owners at Remax, 23 years here in our area, and they're a great employer. They have 20 employees now, which is quite a few. They sold, $70 million in real estate last year, number one in Southeast Iowa. And
wow.
So just a great local business. I hope you'll stop in sometime and thank them for being such a great part of our community.
I have a question along that line. How can it only be 23 years? I can't remember a time when it wasn't there.
Yeah, I can remember it, being a kid and my mom working down at Riverfront Realty at the time, downtown.
Oh, yeah.
Up on Main. And
Mo Jennison and...
Yeah. So then they started that 23 years ago, and I can remember moving into that building and all of us being up there kind of working and hanging drywall and those kind of things. So
what was in that building on Broadway before that?
A long time ago, I think my grandma actually had almost like a Curlin's type store in that building for a while, where she sold greeting cards and those kind of things.
Huh. How about that? Well, congratulations on 23 years, and please congratulate your mom for me, too. A very, very nice woman that I've known for many, many years. Hard-working woman, never see her. She's always at work. That includes the weekends. I guess that's the bad side of your business. Your weekends are spoken for pretty much, aren't they?
They are, for sure. Yeah, our Saturday is like your Monday.
Yeah. And maybe in this time where we talked a lot about the housing supply being really especially tight right now, in this area particularly, where maybe you don't want to wait for the weekend when other people can get free. If you were to jump on something quicker than that through the week, you might have a natural advantage. I'm gathering by our weekly visits, you and I, that days are mattering. You can't sort of take your time in the real estate market anymore.
I tell you what, there was one that came up last week that the person bought for over what the list price was, and they didn't even go tour it. They bought it unseen, above list price. That's how fast it's going right now.
Wow, that's crazy. Good time to sell if you're in that market, I would think as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. You're going to get more for your house right now. It's just the way it is. There's a ton of buyers, and there's not many properties on the market. So we're going to have a lot of buyers running through your house. Probably going to sell quicker than normal. But if you're a buyer, interest rates are still low, and there's enough properties out there that you can still find some gems. But if you're looking for something specific, it may not be available right now, which is kind of a first for our area. You might be waiting, and there might be 10 other people waiting too, so you got to move quick.
And tell me, the new COVID relief bill, the $1.9 trillion, did that have real estate impact?
It did. So here's some numbers for you. They set aside some money on the real estate side. So $21.5 billion for rental assistance. So that's if you're having problems paying your rent right now because your job was cut or those kind of things, there is going to be some money available for that. $5 billion in housing vouchers, $100 million in rural housing assistance.
Wow.
And $5 billion in homeless assistance. So I don't have all the, how do I sign up for this or that? You're going to need to Google that and find it. But I can tell you a little bit about who it's for. So if you're unemployed or you have reduced income because of COVID, those funds are available for you. If you can prove that you have a risk of housing instability, you're having trouble making those funds, and you can prove it, then that is there to help you out.
And then it's income tested as well?
It is. And then what they do is they can give you up to 12 months of assistance on your rental, plus an additional 3 months if you need it. I don't know why they don't go out and just say 15 months, but that's the way the bill reads. And then they also have, if you own a multifamily property, so you own an apartment building or a fourplex or a duplex, they have an extended mortgage forbearance. And if your loan is backed by Fannie and Freddie, that is available. So they've pushed that. It was available till March. They've pushed it till June. The only caveat on that is you must pass that relief on to your renters. So it's not just to bail the homeowner out. You also need to bail the renters out as well.
That sounds complicated because let's say you had a fourplex, right? And 2 were able to pay and 2 weren't. It would seem like you would need that forbearance to really get by, but then you'd have to, not charge the other 2 that were paying?
Right.
Or, I don't know.
That's the way I read it. That's what I read. And I bet you could go to them and just say, hey, this is available. But it doesn't take away what you owe. It just kind of puts it on the back end. So if you were supposed to make, let's say you take it for 6 months, it doesn't get rid of those payments. You still owe them. It just tacks them onto the end of your loan.
Right. Under the category, the world is still a ripoff. All right. You got about a minute or so. Give me the big sell. AndyCrowner.com is the place to advance your relationship with Mr. Crowner. If you need any kind of real estate assistance, buy, sell, all the rest of it, whatever, you're just curious, I know he'll give you an appraisal on your house. Not an appraisal. What do you call it?
And we do a market analysis.
Yeah,
and
that.
I'll give you the quick spin on that. Is just if you're interested right now, especially if you're interested in selling, we have a buyer for your house. I've got so many buyers right now. I need more properties. I'm calling homes that are for sale 10 years ago, trying to find people for them. I'm doing everything I can to try to get these people in houses. It's just not available. So if you want to sell at all, please call me. We've got a buyer for your house. And then number 2, hey, 4th of July is coming up, working on that for City of West Burlington. If you have a group that's interested in doing something for 4th of July as a fundraiser, please get a hold of me. We have plenty of opportunities, plenty of ways to be involved. We could really use your help.
Awesome. 4th of July, you can also contact him through Facebook by searching Andy Crowner. You can message him through there, or you can go to his website, andycrowner.com. Thanks. Good to talk to you this morning.
You as well. I hope you're enjoying being back in town after your vacation. I'm getting ready to plan one myself.
All right. Take care now.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.